developing awareness to deal with distractions is the first step. And how do we develop that awareness? Well, we sit and we become comfortable with who we are and with our mind, realizing that we're not going to be able to stop a thought, but we can become aware that our mind has now become distracted. Mm-hmm. We're now thinking about something other than our breath.
But I believe the great is still yet to come. I won't stop fighting, man, until I'm done.
We talk about awareness, connection, perspective, and potential. Those are the 4 pillars that we teach to our students, whether it be an individual student or whether it be a group. But I want to stress awareness here and then get back to the distraction quote. So when a distraction comes along, whether it be a sound or a thought, the first thing that we talk about in developing a meditation practice is how do you develop the awareness to realize that your mind has wandered because of the distraction. It might be a past of the thought, a thought of the past. It might be a thought of the future. But these are all distractions, just taking our minds all the way away from where we want it to be, right? So in Buddhist writings, they talk about monkey mind. They talk about puppy mind. So visualize a new puppy that you just got yesterday and what that puppy is doing in your living room. Or picture a group of trees and there are monkeys jumping from one tree all over the place. Monkey mind or puppy mind. The human mind never stops. And another misconception about meditation is that a lot of people who begin to meditate believe that meditation is stopping their mind, clearing your mind. Mm-hmm. I will tell you that will never, ever happen. You will never stop your mind. And so many people begin to meditate and stop because they think that they have to stop their mind. That will not happen. We are human.
Well, that's a plus.
You will never stop your mind. There are 0% of people, and I mean this. There are 0% of people that when they first start meditating think that they're not horrible at it. Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks they're horrible at it, including myself. The first time I meditated, oh my God, I'm doing this wrong, okay? Because my mind just kept following these distractions. So as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about, well, what's for dinner? Or what happened to this business client? I haven't heard from Mr. Smith, and I was supposed to hear from him. Or what am I doing later? Or how are my kids doing? And all of these distractions, they take our mind in all these different ways. And it kicks in the part of the nervous system that we've talked about before called the sympathetic nervous system, which is that fight or flight nervous system. Mm-hmm. So developing awareness to deal with distractions is the first step. And how do we develop that awareness? Well, we sit and we become comfortable with who we are and with our mind, realizing that we're not going to be able to stop a thought, but we can become aware that our mind has now become distracted. Mm-hmm. We're now thinking about something other than our breath. Mm-hmm. And as you begin to develop a meditation practice, you're able to come to that awareness more rapidly. So, and able to come back to that breath more rapidly.
I'm hearing you speak. We years ago, we were part of a group called the SEA, which is Sports Enhancement Associates. Worked with a lot of tour players. And when I was a kid, they used to say, well, if something's distracting you, block it out, block it out, block it out. And I always found myself saying, okay, don't think about that, don't think about that. And that wasn't working, right? So what they had told us is when you are doing something like that, is rather than trying to block out DMG sitting over there, right? Just say, hey, he's there, accept it, and focus on what you're tasking. Mm-hmm. And from what I'm hearing you say that's...
And come back to the breath.
Yeah.
It's the breath that is center. What is the one thing that we always have with us? We always have our breath with us. Oh. Yeah, you might always have Richie. Right. But the one thing that we always have with us is our breath. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that we can learn to control is our breath. So when you're at the 18th green at the Masters and you have an 11-foot putt to win the Masters, what is keeping your breath under control? Go ahead. Are you in that fight or flight part of the nervous system, this sympathetic nervous system, where your eyes are dilated and you're shaking and you're nervous and anxious? Or are you able to incorporate the other part, the rest and digest part of the nervous system, called the parasympathetic nervous system? We don't have enough time really to get into all of that today. But the other part of that nervous system
We can have you
that
back.
is for, that's fine, that is for calming and relaxation. Are you able to do that? And the difference between somebody who can sink that 11-foot putt on the 18th green at the Masters and somebody who kicks it out 4 inches to the left, and I'm not sure if I'm using the right
No,
terminology
you're
here,
great.
is can you control the breath? Can you block out everything else that's going around, the millions of people around the world that are watching you? Okay, and the people that are in the stadium there, that are on the grounds, that are watching you, can you block that out?
What I,
Glass of bourbon, ha ha. My bourbon, ha ha. My bourbon, ha ha. Alcohol, because no great story ever started with, I'll have a salad.